Have you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell? You're going to be missing out on videos and free prizes and raffles we have coming up. This video includes timestamps, so check out the description below if you want to bounce ahead and just grab the info that you want. Hey friends, Shane from HowToWrench.com, and I'm laying out some special tools for our member channel video, but I had something for you folks. I've got something for the free channel here, and it was just too good an opportunity. It was one of those things where I was like, I want to share this with everyone. And as I started laying out all these tools, because we commonly get asked like, hey, what's your favorite tool for ignition testing or charging or diagnostic or tuning or all kinds of different things. Special shout out to the guys over at Prop Tech too. They've been an awesome supporter of the channel. Same thing with the GTC tools as well. Love those. Lots of sponsors here. I want to make sure I don't forget anyone, but the point is we've done hundreds of these videos, and one thing that's a commonly overlooked thing when doing any kind of electrical testing is to make sure that the batteries inside these tools that are powering these tools, if required, are good and up to the job. And I've had an opportunity here where I'm going to prove on this machine on what good batteries and bad batteries, how they acted differently. And I want you to kind of just think about that. I want you to chew on that. And also, before I forget, if you hadn't seen the video on this cool little tool I made for testing batteries really quick, I'll put a link below on that. But I made this sick little set of leads for this Harbor Freight tester that has the ability to load test batteries. Make sure you watch that video. I'll put a link below. But it's one of the things that people commonly do wrong is they just go to voltage versus load testing. And kind of to summarize this real quickly is that when it comes to batteries, especially like the batteries we use in our motorcycles, people commonly just take and throw a meter across it and go, okay, has it got 12 volts? Well, 12 volts would be terrible. That'd be a severely drained battery. We want 12.6 to 12.8, depending on the type of the battery. And it's the same thing on our AA's or our 9 volts that power up this equipment to perform tests so that we can meet specs in the manual. Like here's an example where they want a resistance specification at a certain temperature. If my battery is weak in my tester, and on this one I'd be using like a meter and I'd be taking and doing this coolant temperature lead here. If my tester battery is weak, I'm not going to be able to achieve that result in the manual, right? I mean, here's another one I saved on here for a bank angle sensor, where you're going to tip it to a certain angle, and then there's a specification that you're going to want to get out of that sensor by back probing it, right? And once again, if I'm using a weak battery to do that, I will never be able to achieve those. There's the big argument that, well, do you have the exact tester that manufacturer called for? You know, a lot of people fight over that. What I find is I'm not seeing enormous differences when it comes to the brand of multimeter. I know people are going to argue about that all day long. I'm sure we're going to have a bunch of Fluke fans on here, and I wouldn't even disagree with that. But I will tell you this, no matter what tester you use, Fluke, Snap-on, Mac, Craftsman, you name it, you are going to find that you're going to get poor results. And the problem is when you have weak batteries in any of this test equipment, it's always going to mark the part wrong. And so now you're going to be changing parts that aren't actually bad, and then you're going to have a hard time of troubleshooting these machines, right? So let me show you this, like I said, really quick little example of where things can go wrong from good versus bad batteries. Once again, I was doing this in my office, and check it out. All right, I'm going to show you a real world example here. I got this little printer that when I went to go turn it on, use it, it just it barely turned on, would let me, make the title to the label, but wouldn't let me print it, would shut off. So I was pretty sure it was the batteries, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to confirm that. So like I said, I'll have links below in the video of how I made these custom leads, but just on a cheap Harbor Freight meter. But instead of just using the DC voltage, we're going to use that as well, this 20, and just show you what the 1.5 volt batteries actually measure. But we have this load test feature here, and you can see 1.5 or 9 volt batteries. And it tells you too, like what a good result would be. And so on a 1.5, we want to see that 4.0 minimum. And on a 9 volt battery, you'd want to see 25. So I showed this in the other video too, but let me show you here how the piece of equipment reacts. That's going to be the important thing. So I'm going to grab a brand new one. So these are brand new batteries here. Put that over here. And see, I got 4.3, 4.4. Okay, now let me switch that to voltage real quick, just to show you something here. So a 1.5 volt battery will always have more than 1.5. Look, it's 1.6. That's pretty common. Let's grab a bad battery here, and we'll see here 1.43. Most people think, oh, that isn't that bad, but it really is. But let's load test it and see what that equals. I got three. Let me get a good connection here. 3.435, so a little bit low. I had some here that were 3.1. This one's 3.2. We'll switch that right to the voltage, and you can see I'm 1.42, so less than a 1.5 volt battery. But like I said, I want you to see like how the machine behaves here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these back in here. These are the bad ones. So I put in a label for to do, and then when I hit the print, okay, it just goes blank. I have nothing. So let's try and put some new batteries in here and see what happens. What a difference that makes with new batteries, right? All right, friends, there you go. There you have it. Cool little proof of how big a deal this makes. I'll put some links to some other videos. I did a cool one time on 9-volt batteries and showed like measuring temperatures, how the temperature would change as the battery was weaker and weaker and weaker. I did a cool one on that. Definitely something I've been telling my students for years, to make sure that, you know, batteries are really cheap compared to labor rates and diagnostic time. And so you definitely want to have a good set of batteries around that you can also do something cool like this and test your spare batteries. If you've never really thought about it, let me see if I can show you. I keep a battery box here, and that's where that tester goes. And this is where I keep like my spare batteries. But let me just grab one here and see if I could see this here. Let me see here. One thing you also want to be careful of is look for, let me try to go to some light here so I can focus, is when you buy batteries, just because you're buying them new in the shop, that doesn't mean like they were made that day. So one thing you really want to do that I found to be really beneficial is look at the packaging and try to see when that battery was actually made. Now, there's some argument. People say, well, they're reusing packaging. Well, let's take a look at this one, see what we got. These are out of a garage door opener, but let's see what we're seeing for a date. Let me focus up. Okay, 2014 Energizer, okay? I obviously didn't need these or haven't used these in a long time. It's hard to believe. I highly doubt I bought these in 2022 in 2014 packaging. And so that's why it would be really important for me to open these and then test them. And once again, I prefer to do load testing versus just static battery testing, you know. So for this one here, it's a 12 volt. This only does 1.5 and 9. I'm not going to, you know, be able to use that tool to load test this. But for all my AA's, or excuse me, all my AA batteries, whether they're A, triples, or excuse me, triple, double, CD, whatever, I can use that tool. And I was just curious, I'm going to grab this pack here just to do something that we would be able to use that tester on. This is some generic brand, not even sure what it is, but let's see what we're working with here. I'm going to show you a couple different examples of where this date is or whatnot. So on these here, you take a look here. They're just generic brand. And one of the things it says is date-coded packaging, so you know the batteries are fresh. So when I flip that around and I go and I look for it, I saw here, best if used by July 2028. So you would think that these are pretty fresh. Look inside the package. See all that battery sulfation that's in there? So these aren't doing so hot. If you look at that, pretty bad. But the battery right next to it that doesn't have that, the question is, you know, is that good or is it bad? I don't know. You know, that's why I'd take and I'd put it on my tester here, and I would go ahead and try to figure out. Let's see if I can get that one on there. This one here, voltage-wise, isn't doing too bad. Let's go ahead here and see what we got. So you could see 3.8 kind of bounced around there, 3.738. The voltage was, if you remember, it's what, 156. When we're 4.0, we end up at 161, 162, something like that. And swiping through there, sometimes I'll see this. As it's sitting on there, it's really draining. And what that's doing is actually loading it right now, and it can't even hold, and it's draining down. So I'll tell you what, if I trusted just the packaging on this date and didn't test it, I'm going to end up putting it in a piece of equipment. I'm going to have a false sense of security that, hey, it's a new battery. And then I'm going to get bad results. I'm going to be changing parts and wasting time. So like I said at the beginning of this video, this is one of those things that's super beneficial to everybody. If you want more of this like deep dive content, you can head on over to the member side of this. There's a join button on the channel, and you can get really, really long deep dive videos on how to use like all these different individual tools. And there's pretty cool stuff. Since I'm thinking about it, one other thing is like I haven't used this ignition tester in quite some time, and this is a rechargeable battery. So this one's missed my radar, and what I have back in the corner over there is I have a reminder every month. Actually, you could see some of the batteries that are being charged right now. Too many motorcycles in here. Is once a month I get a reminder on my Google Calendar. It says charge batteries. So I go through and charge all the batteries that are in the inventory. I also at the same time charge all the batteries for like my power tools. And like I said, I do that once a month. And I'm glad I went through this. Through this opportunity to do some of these other pieces of equipment, because I realized some stuff that wasn't on my radar. This ignition tester that I hadn't used here in a hot minute, that needs to be added to my list so that I'm making sure and charging it all the time. And then the other thing I want to make sure and recommend is that it's a really good idea to make sure that you're not leaving batteries in equipment that you may not use, or you're going to end up with like those AA's that were all calcified and being a problem. So to make sure that you're taking your batteries out. Another thing you can do, like in the case of this one, I just leave it loose so that the batteries aren't together staying on. Here's another one with the battery out. So that's something to recommend. And, I threw the Prop Tech guys out here just because they're such a great tool sponsor, and they were electrical tools for some of the videos that we're going to add to this. But links in the electrical play channel or playlist as well. But these are really cool in the fact that they use the power source of the motorcycle, so they don't require a battery. Not all tools are that way. So this stuff here, all this electrical test equipment, if you don't know how to use it, man, you are in the right place to learn how to do everything. So I'm going to head out. I'm going to get back at it. We've got a bunch of projects. I've been gone for quite some time. Been back in Africa training techs. Going to be heading back to Japan here before too long. And then we got some other crazy opportunities that are coming up. So it's been a hot minute, honestly, since we've been in the shop. Super stoked to get in here, and I'm really excited to wrap these two up. And if you haven't, like I said, subscribed to the channel, you're gonna miss out on free tools. Another reason I pulled all this stuff out is to like go through a bunch of the stuff, and I'm at a point where I want to get rid of all my duplicates. And I've decided that what I'm gonna do is just start doing some giveaways and some fan giveaways on a bunch of this stuff too. I've done that in the past. Really worked out well. People are really appreciative to get free stuff. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of trim some of this inventory and kind of figure out what bikes I really want to keep. I expect to move here in the future and looking to get a permanent place of my own. And with that, I don't want to move all this stuff. So I know I'm going to trim some stuff down. I'm going to sell the R6s. I got 2 of those with bodywork and all kinds of stuff. You might want to check that out. Pretty sure I'm going to hang on to the Ducati, and got a race body for it over there now. Not sure on the 51, still a little undecided. Going to build up this GSX-R. And once that's a runner, I'm going to flip it as well. I think I'm going to keep the DL 650, do some fun stuff with that. Probably going to sell a Harley. I don't know, man. I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I got a lot of stuff, and I'm tired of moving this all over, because the only thing I really want to keep are the tools. And then, of course, man, keep the dirt bike. Going to keep the Supermoto. That stuff, who knows? Anyway, I'm rambling. It's been a while. Miss you guys. Loved all the comments and stuff while I've been gone, and the personal notes and stuff on the member channel. So y'all rock. So I'm going to get at, as always, share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make it a great day, and keep wrenching.